Thank you all for your continued support. If you found this content valuable, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. Your engagement truly helps us. Also, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. In the vast tapestry of angelic nomenclature, few names carry the weight of divine purpose as profoundly as Raguel. This celestial being, whose very name resonates with the authority of heaven itself, stands as one of the most significant yet enigmatic figures in angelology. The name Raguel, sometimes transliterated as Raziel or Roel, derives from ancient Hebrew and Aramaic roots that speak to the very essence of divine justice and cosmic order. The etymology of Raguel reveals layers of meaning that illuminate his celestial function. In Hebrew, the name combines Ra, meaning friend or companion, with El, the shortened form of Elohim, meaning God. Thus, Raguel translates literally as friend of God or God's companion. This designation suggests not merely a servant relationship, but one of intimate association with the divine will, positioning Raguel as a trusted confidant in the administration of heavenly justice. However, the linguistic analysis extends beyond simple translation. In Aramaic traditions, Raguel's name carries connotations of God's vengeance, or God who takes vengeance, revealing the dual nature of divine justice, both protective and punitive. This interpretation aligns with his role as the enforcer of celestial law, one who ensures that even the highest orders of angels remain accountable to divine authority. The significance of naming in ancient Near Eastern cultures cannot be overstated. Names were believed to encapsulate the very essence and destiny of their bearers. In the case of Raguel, his name serves as both identification and mission statement. He is not merely called the Angel of Justice. Justice flows from his very identity. The linguistic construction of his name suggests that justice is not something he does, but something he is, an embodiment of divine righteousness given form and agency. Ancient texts reveal that Raguel's name was known across various cultures and religious traditions, though often with slight variations in pronunciation and spelling. In Ethiopian traditions, he appears as Raguel, while in some Greek manuscripts, he is rendered as Roel. These variations, rather than indicating confusion, demonstrate the widespread recognition of this celestial figure across different civilizations and their attempts to capture in their own linguistic frameworks the essence of this divine being. The theological implications of Raguel's name extend to contemporary understanding of divine justice. In modern angelology, the study of his name reveals insights into how ancient peoples understood the relationship between divine mercy and divine justice. Raguel represents the principle that God's love does not negate God's justice, but rather perfects it. His name suggests that true friendship with God requires absolute alignment with divine righteousness. Furthermore, the name Raguel appears in various forms throughout apocryphal literature, each instance reinforcing his association with divine judgment and cosmic order. In the Book of Enoch, his name is invoked in contexts of judgment and restoration, while in other pseudographic works it appears in conjunction with descriptions of heavenly tribunals and divine courts. This consistent association across texts, written in different periods and locations, testifies to the enduring recognition of Raguel's fundamental nature. The mystical traditions have long recognized that angelic names possess inherent power, and Raguel's name is no exception. Kabbalistic interpretations suggest that the very utterance of his name invokes principles of divine justice and calls upon heavenly intervention in matters of righteousness. This understanding has influenced various spiritual practices throughout history, where invoking Raguel's name was believed to bring divine justice to situations of injustice and oppression. In examining the philological development of Raguel's name, scholars have noted its evolution through various manuscript traditions. Early Hebrew texts present the name with specific vowel pointings that emphasize the divine element, El, while later Aramaic versions shift the emphasis toward the relational aspect, Ra. This evolution reflects changing theological emphases while maintaining the core meaning of divine friendship, coupled with unwavering justice. The origins of Raguel stretch back to the very foundations of creation itself, embedded in the primordial moments when the Almighty established the hierarchies of heaven and appointed specific angels to maintain the cosmic order. Unlike human creation, which occurred within time and space, angelic creation exists in a realm that transcends temporal boundaries, making the precise moment of Raguel's origin both eternal and instantaneous. According to traditional angelology, Raguel was among the first wave of archangels created directly by God's divine word. The ancient texts suggest that his creation was not arbitrary but purposeful, designed to fulfill a specific need in the cosmic order, the need for unwavering justice and divine accountability. In the moments following the separation of light from darkness, when God began establishing the fundamental laws that would govern all existence, Raguel emerged as the guardian of these very laws within the celestial realm. The nature of Raguel's creation differs from that of other angels in significant ways. While many angels were created to serve specific functions, Michael as warrior, Gabriel as messenger, Raphael as healer, Raguel was created with a unique dual nature. He possesses both the authority to judge and the wisdom to discern, combining the roles of prosecutor and judge in the celestial court. This dual nature required a special kind of creation, one that imbued him with perfect understanding of divine law and absolute incorruptibility. Ancient sources describe Raguel's creation as occurring in a blaze of white light, symbolizing the purity of justice itself. Unlike the golden light associated with other archangels, Raguel's essence manifests as crystalline white, representing the clarity and transparency required for perfect judgment. This distinctive luminescence marks him as fundamentally different from his angelic brethren, designed specifically for the administration of divine justice. The theological implications of Raguel's creation extend to questions of free will and divine determinism. While other angels were created with the capacity for choice, as evidenced by the fall of Lucifer and his followers, Raguel appears to have been created with a nature so perfectly aligned with divine justice that rebellion becomes impossible. This does not diminish his free will, but rather represents the perfect marriage of will and divine purpose, making him the ideal guardian of celestial law. Raguel's identity as an archangel places him among the highest orders of celestial beings, yet his specific function sets him apart even from his peers. While the traditional archangels interact regularly with creation and humanity, Raguel's primary focus remains the celestial realm itself. His identity is intrinsically linked to the maintenance of order among the angels, making him both protector and prosecutor of his own kind. The creation account found in the Book of Enoch provides additional insights into Raguel's origin. According to this text, God created 7 archangels to stand before the divine throne, each with specific responsibilities for maintaining cosmic order. Raguel was appointed as the one who takes vengeance on the world of the luminaries, indicating that his authority extends not only to angels, but to all celestial bodies and forces that might threaten divine order. This appointment reveals something profound about Raguel's identity. He is not merely an enforcer, but a restorer. His role involves not just punishing wrongdoing, but actively working to restore the harmony that existed before transgression occurred. This restorative aspect of his identity reflects the deeper purpose of divine justice, which seeks not destruction, but redemption and renewal. The question of Raguel's consciousness and self-awareness at the moment of creation presents fascinating theological considerations. Unlike human consciousness, which develops over time through experience and learning, Raguel's awareness emerged fully formed, complete with perfect understanding of his purpose and mission. This instantaneous enlightenment equipped him with all necessary knowledge for his role as celestial judge and guardian of angelic conduct. Raguel's relationship with other archangels was established at the moment of creation, not developed through subsequent interaction. He was created with innate understanding of each archangel's role and the perfect wisdom to judge their actions fairly. This predetermined understanding ensures that personal relationships never compromise his judicial objectivity, allowing him to maintain perfect justice even when judging those he was created alongside. The permanence of Raguel's identity sets him apart from created beings who might grow or change over time. His essence remains constant, unchanging in its commitment to divine justice and cosmic order. This immutability makes him a reliable constant in an ever-changing universe, a fixed point of reference for understanding divine law and its application. Archaeological and textual evidence suggests that knowledge of Raguel's creation and identity spread rapidly throughout ancient civilizations, indicating that this information was considered crucial for understanding the structure of divine government. His identity as the Angel of Justice provided ancient peoples with assurance that even the highest celestial beings were subject to divine law and accountability. The mystery surrounding certain aspects of Raguel's creation and identity reflects the limitations of human understanding when confronting the infinite nature of divine reality. What remains clear is that his creation was intentional, purposeful, and essential for maintaining the order and justice that characterize the kingdom of heaven. Within the celestial hierarchy, the 7 archangels represent the highest order of created beings, each possessing unique attributes and responsibilities that collectively maintain the cosmic order established by divine will. Raguel's position among these 7 reveals both his elevated status and his specialized function as the guardian of justice within the angelic realm itself. Understanding his place requires examining the entire structure of archangelic authority and the specific ways each contributes to the administration of divine government. The traditional 7 archangels, Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, Raguel, Sariel, and Ramiel, form what ancient texts describe as the Council of the Most High, serving as intermediaries between the infinite divine and all created reality. Each archangel embodies specific aspects of divine nature. Michael represents divine strength and protection. Gabriel embodies divine communication and revelation. Raphael manifests divine healing and restoration. Uriel carries divine wisdom and illumination. Sariel oversees divine punishment and correction, and Ramiel serves as divine mercy and comfort. Raguel uniquely embodies divine justice and accountability. Raguel's position within this council is both distinctive and essential. While his fellow archangels primarily interact with creation external to the celestial realm, protecting humanity, delivering divine messages, providing healing, offering wisdom, Raguel's primary jurisdiction encompasses the angelic realm itself. He serves as the internal affairs division of heaven, ensuring that even the highest celestial beings remain faithful to their divine calling and purpose. This internal focus makes Raguel's function perhaps the most challenging among the archangels. While Michael battles external enemies and Gabriel delivers divine messages to receptive prophets, Raguel must sometimes confront his own peers, including angels of considerable power and authority. His position requires absolute incorruptibility and perfect wisdom, as any failure in judgment could undermine the entire structure of celestial government. The hierarchical relationship between Raguel and the other archangels reflects careful divine design. He is not superior to his peers in terms of power or glory, but his unique authority to judge angelic conduct places him in a position of special responsibility. This arrangement ensures that justice operates independently of personal relationships or factional loyalties that might otherwise compromise celestial order. Ancient texts describe Raguel as standing to the right of the divine throne, a position traditionally associated with judgment and authority. This placement is significant because it mirrors earthly courts where judges sit to the right of the ruling authority. In the celestial court, Raguel occupies this position of judicial authority, empowered to render binding decisions regarding angelic conduct and cosmic order. The scope of Raguel's authority extends beyond simple rule enforcement to encompass the preservation of divine harmony itself. While other archangels focus on specific aspects of creation or human interaction, Raguel's responsibility encompasses the entire celestial realm. He ensures that the worship offered by angels remains pure, that their service remains faithful, and that their relationship with divine authority remains uncorrupted. This comprehensive oversight requires Raguel to possess intimate knowledge of divine law in all its aspects. Unlike other archangels who might specialize in particular areas of divine activity, Raguel must understand the complete scope of divine will and its application to every situation that might arise within the celestial realm. This makes him perhaps the most thoroughly educated of all angelic beings regarding divine justice and law. The relationship between Raguel and Michael deserves special attention, as both serve protective functions but in different spheres. Michael protects creation from external threats and spiritual warfare, while Raguel protects the integrity of heaven itself from internal corruption. Their functions complement each other, creating a comprehensive system of divine protection that operates both externally and internally. Similarly, Raguel's relationship with Gabriel involves the intersection of divine communication and divine justice. When Gabriel delivers divine messages or pronouncements of judgment, Raguel ensures that these communications are implemented fairly and completely. He serves as the enforcement mechanism for divine decrees, particularly those involving angelic conduct or cosmic order. The position of Raguel among the 7 archangels also reflects the principle that divine justice operates at every level of existence. Just as earthly governments require judicial systems to maintain order, the heavenly government requires an angelic judge to ensure that even the highest created beings remain accountable to divine law. Raguel's position demonstrates that no created being, regardless of power or status, stands above divine justice. His function as the guardian of celestial justice also involves maintaining the delicate balance between divine mercy and divine judgment. While other archangels might focus primarily on mercy or primarily on judgment, Raguel must constantly balance these divine attributes, ensuring that justice is tempered with mercy and mercy is grounded in justice. This balancing act requires perfect wisdom and absolute commitment to divine will. The influence of Raguel's position extends throughout the entire angelic hierarchy. Lower orders of angels understand that their conduct is ultimately subject to his oversight, creating a system of accountability that ensures faithful service throughout the celestial realm. This influence operates not through fear, but through the recognition that divine justice ultimately serves the good of all creation. The permanence of Raguel's position among the 7 archangels reflects the unchanging nature of divine justice itself. Unlike earthly judicial systems that might be reformed or replaced, the celestial system of justice embodied in Raguel's position represents eternal principles that remain constant throughout all ages. His position is not temporary appointment but eternal calling, reflecting the permanent need for justice in any ordered system of existence. The concept of divine justice finds its most perfect expression in the figure of Raguel, whose role as the vigilante of angels represents the ultimate accountability system within the celestial realm. Unlike human justice systems that operate with imperfect knowledge and limited authority, Raguel's administration of divine justice operates with complete omniscience and absolute authority, making him perhaps the most feared and respected figure among the angelic hosts. The term vigilante, in the context of Raguel's role, does not carry the negative connotations often associated with human vigilantism. Rather, it represents the divine appointment of ultimate oversight, a position that combines the roles of watchman, judge, prosecutor, and executor of divine sentences. Raguel's vigilance extends to every corner of the celestial realm, monitoring not just actions but intentions, not just deeds, but the very thoughts and motivations that drive angelic behavior. This comprehensive oversight operates on multiple levels simultaneously. At the surface level, Raguel monitors angelic conduct to ensure compliance with divine commands and celestial protocols. He observes their worship, their service, their interactions with other angels, and their fulfillment of assigned duties. But his vigilance penetrates deeper, examining the heart attitudes that motivate these external behaviors, ensuring that angelic service springs from genuine love and devotion, rather than mere obligation or fear. The authority that underlies Raguel's role as angelic vigilante derives directly from the divine throne itself. He does not operate as an independent agent, but as the direct representative of divine justice, empowered to act with the full authority of heaven itself. This divine backing means that his decisions carry the same weight as divine decrees, making resistance to his judgments equivalent to rebellion against God himself. The methods by which Raguel exercises his vigilant oversight reflect both divine wisdom and perfect justice. He does not operate through surveillance or espionage, but through an innate connection to the divine consciousness that allows him instant awareness of any deviation from celestial order. This supernatural awareness ensures that no transgression, however small or seemingly private, escapes his notice. When Raguel identifies misconduct among the angels, His response follows a careful protocol that balances justice with mercy. Initial interventions often take the form of correction and instruction, providing opportunities for repentance and restoration. Only when angels persist in rebellion, or when their misconduct threatens the stability of the celestial order, does Raguel move to more severe forms of judgment. The scope of Raguel's authority as angelic vigilante extends to angels of all ranks and orders. Neither seraphim nor cherubim, neither thrones nor dominions, stand exempt from his oversight. This universal jurisdiction ensures that the principle of divine justice operates consistently throughout the entire celestial hierarchy, preventing the formation of privileged classes or untouchable elites within heaven. The psychological impact of Raguel's vigilant presence on angelic behavior cannot be understated. The knowledge that their every action and intention is subject to his oversight creates an environment where angels naturally gravitate toward righteousness and faithful service. This is not the oppressive surveillance of a totalitarian regime, but the loving accountability that characterizes perfect community. The relationship between Raguel's role and the concept of free will presents fascinating theological considerations. His vigilant oversight does not negate angelic free will, but rather ensures that the consequences of choices are applied consistently and fairly. Angels remain free to choose their actions, but they cannot escape accountability for those choices. Historical analysis of angelic rebellions and their suppression reveals the central role that Raguel plays in maintaining celestial order. When groups of angels have chosen to rebel against divine authority, Raguel has served as both the detective who uncovers the conspiracy and the judge who determines appropriate punishment. His interventions have repeatedly prevented minor rebellions from escalating into cosmic catastrophes. The precision with which Raguel administers divine justice eliminates the possibility of false accusations or unjust punishments that plague human judicial systems. His perfect knowledge of circumstances, motivations, and consequences ensures that every judgment reflects absolute truth and perfect fairness. No angel has ever been unjustly accused or inappropriately punished under his oversight. The restorative aspect of Raguel's justice deserves special emphasis. While his role includes punishment for wrongdoing, the ultimate goal is always restoration of proper order and relationship. Even the most severe judgments administered through Raguel serve the purpose of protecting the innocent and maintaining the conditions necessary for genuine flourishing throughout the celestial realm. The interaction between Raguel's vigilant oversight and the doctrine of divine omniscience reveals important truths about the nature of divine government. While God possesses complete knowledge of all events, Raguel serves as the appointed agent through whom divine justice is administered. This arrangement demonstrates that divine government operates through ordered systems and appointed authorities rather than through arbitrary divine intervention. The temporal aspect of Raguel's vigilance operates across all dimensions of existence. His oversight extends not only to present actions, but to their past origins and future consequences. This comprehensive temporal awareness ensures that justice accounts for the full scope of behavior and its impact, rather than focusing solely on isolated incidents. The educational function of Raguel's role as angelic vigilante extends throughout the celestial realm. His consistent administration of divine justice serves as ongoing instruction for all angels regarding the nature of righteousness and the consequences of deviation from divine will. Through his example, angels learn not only what is expected, but why these expectations serve the good of all creation. The Book of Enoch presents the most detailed and comprehensive portrait of Raguel available in ancient literature, depicting him as the fiscal of the heavens, a title that encompasses his roles as prosecutor, investigator, and administrator of divine justice within the celestial court system. This ancient text, revered across multiple religious traditions, provides unique insights into Raguel's methods, authority, and the specific cases he has overseen throughout cosmic history. In the Enochian narrative, Raguel appears not as a distant figure of abstract justice, but as an active participant in the ongoing drama of cosmic governance. The text describes him as one of the holy angels who takes vengeance on the world of the luminaries, a description that encompasses both his authority over celestial bodies and his responsibility for maintaining order among the angelic hosts who govern these cosmic forces. The role of fiscal, as presented in the Book of Enoch, combines several modern legal functions into a single office. Raguel serves simultaneously as chief prosecutor, gathering evidence of angelic misconduct, as investigator uncovering conspiracies and hidden rebellions, and as court administrator, ensuring that celestial trials proceed according to divine law. This comprehensive role makes him the central figure in heaven's judicial system. The text provides specific examples of Raguel's investigative methods, describing how he uncovers evidence of angelic wrongdoing through both supernatural insight and careful observation. Unlike human investigators who must rely on physical evidence and witness testimony, Raguel possesses the ability to examine the very thoughts and intentions of accused angels, ensuring that no deception can obscure the truth. One of the most significant aspects of Raguel's role as fiscal involves his responsibility for preparing cases against rebellious angels. The Book of Enoch describes in detail how he compiles comprehensive dossiers documenting patterns of disobedience, accumulating evidence that will support divine judgment. This process demonstrates that divine justice operates not arbitrarily, but through careful documentation and thorough investigation. The text reveals that Raguel's authority as fiscal extends to the preparation of formal charges against accused angels. These charges follow specific formats that ensure due process even within the celestial court system. The Book of Enoch preserves examples of these formal accusations, showing how Raguel presents evidence in ways that demonstrate both the specific violations and their broader implications for cosmic order. The prosecutorial aspect of Raguel's role involves more than simply presenting evidence of wrongdoing. As fiscal of the heavens, he must also demonstrate how specific acts of rebellion threaten the stability of the entire cosmic order. This requires comprehensive understanding of how individual choices create ripple effects throughout creation, affecting not only the immediate participants, but all of existence. The Book of Enoch also reveals Raguel's role in coordinating with other archangels during major celestial trials. When cases involve multiple defendants or complex conspiracies, Raguel works closely with Michael, Gabriel, and other archangels to ensure comprehensive investigation and fair prosecution. This collaborative approach demonstrates that even divine justice operates through ordered systems rather than individual arbitrary action. The administrative responsibilities associated with Raguel's role as fiscal include maintaining detailed records of all celestial proceedings. The Book of Enoch describes vast libraries of divine records that document every case, every judgment, and every consequence. These records serve multiple purposes, ensuring consistency in future judgments, providing precedents for similar cases, and maintaining accountability for all judicial decisions. The text provides fascinating insights into the courtroom procedures over which Raguel presides as fiscal. These procedures include formal notification of charges, opportunities for defense and explanation, presentation of evidence, and careful deliberation before judgment. The existence of these procedures demonstrates that divine justice, while absolute in its truth, nevertheless respects the dignity of created beings through fair process. Raguel's role in sentencing convicted angels reveals the restorative nature of divine justice. The Book of Enoch shows that his recommendations for punishment consistently aim at correction rather than mere retribution. Even the most severe sentences, including exile from the celestial realm, are designed to provide opportunities for repentance and eventual restoration. The prophetic aspects of the Book of Enoch reveal Raguel's ongoing role as fiscal extending into the end times. The text describes his involvement in the final judgment, where his accumulated records of angelic conduct will play a crucial role in determining eternal destinies. This eschatological dimension demonstrates that his current work as fiscal serves not only immediate justice, but ultimate cosmic resolution. The relationship between Raguel's role as fiscal and the broader theme of cosmic accountability runs throughout the Enochian narrative. His work ensures that no action, however seemingly insignificant, escapes the notice of divine justice. This comprehensive accountability creates the foundation for genuine cosmic order – and provides assurance that righteousness will ultimately prevail. The Book of Enoch also reveals the personal cost of Raguel's role as fiscal of the heavens. The text describes the burden he bears in prosecuting former colleagues and the grief he experiences when angels he once served alongside must be condemned for their rebellion. This emotional dimension humanizes his role while demonstrating his unwavering commitment to divine justice. The authority structure described in the Book of Enoch shows Raguel reporting directly to the divine throne, bypassing intermediate authorities in matters of celestial justice. This direct reporting relationship ensures that his work as fiscal remains independent of political pressures or factional loyalties that might otherwise compromise the integrity of heavenly justice. The legacy of Raguel's work as fiscal, as presented in the Book of Enoch, extends beyond individual cases to encompass the establishment of precedents and principles that guide all subsequent celestial governance. His decisions create the framework within which future generations of angels understand their responsibilities and the consequences of their choices. The rebellion of the Watchers, also known as the Vigilantes, represents one of the most significant challenges to cosmic order in celestial history, and Raguel's interventions during this crisis demonstrate both the scope of his authority and the methods by which divine justice operates when confronted with systematic rebellion among high-ranking angels. This cosmic catastrophe, which threatened the very foundations of divine government, required Raguel's most comprehensive and decisive action as the guardian of celestial order. The Watchers, originally appointed to observe and guide human development, gradually exceeded their divine mandate by directly interfering in human affairs, taking human wives and teaching forbidden knowledge to humanity. This systematic violation of divine law represented not merely individual transgression, but organized rebellion that threatened to corrupt both the celestial and terrestrial realms. Raguel's investigation of this conspiracy revealed its scope and the necessity for unprecedented intervention. Raguel's initial response to reports of Watcher misconduct followed his established pattern of careful investigation before action. However, the scale of the conspiracy soon became apparent as his investigation revealed that the rebellion involved hundreds of high-ranking angels and had already produced significant corruption in the human realm through the birth of the Nephilim and the spread of forbidden technologies. The complexity of the Watcher rebellion required Raguel to develop new investigative techniques and coordinate with other archangels in ways previously unnecessary. The conspiracy extended across multiple celestial ranks and involved carefully coordinated deception designed to avoid detection. Raguel's ability to uncover the full extent of the plot demonstrated his supernatural investigative capabilities and perfect understanding of angelic psychology. Documentation of Raguel's interventions during the crisis reveals a systematic approach that prioritized the protection of innocent parties while ensuring comprehensive justice for the guilty. His first interventions focused on isolating the rebellious Watchers to prevent further corruption, followed by detailed investigation of each individual case to determine appropriate punishment. The judicial proceedings overseen by Raguel during the Watcher crisis established important precedents for handling large-scale angelic rebellion. He developed procedures for managing mass trials while ensuring individual justice, created systems for coordinating multiple archangelic authorities, and established protocols for dealing with the consequences of angelic misconduct that affected other realms of creation. Raguel's intervention in gathering evidence against the Watchers required unprecedented cooperation with earthly witnesses and investigation of physical evidence in the human realm. This expansion of his traditional celestial jurisdiction demonstrated the adaptability of divine justice and the comprehensive nature of cosmic accountability. No realm of existence could serve as a refuge from divine justice. The sentencing phase of the Watcher trial showcased Raguel's wisdom in balancing justice with mercy while protecting cosmic order. Different levels of punishment were administered based on the degree of involvement and the specific nature of each Watcher's transgression. Leaders of the rebellion received the harshest sentences, while followers who showed repentance received opportunities for redemption. The implementation of sentences against the Watchers required Raguel to coordinate with other archangels in ways that demonstrated the unified nature of celestial government. Michael provided the military force necessary to subdue rebellious angels, Gabriel communicated divine judgments, and Raphael administered healing to those affected by the rebellion's consequences. Raguel's oversight of the Watcher's imprisonment in places of punishment established the celestial penal system that continues to operate throughout cosmic history. These places of confinement serve not merely as punishment, but as opportunities for reflection and potential repentance, demonstrating that even divine judgment includes hope for eventual restoration. The intervention in cleaning up the consequences of the Watcher rebellion required Raguel to work extensively in the human realm, a departure from his usual celestial focus. He oversaw the removal of forbidden knowledge where possible, the neutralization of dangerous technologies, and the implementation of safeguards to prevent similar corruption in the future. The educational aspect of Raguel's interventions during the Watcher crisis extended throughout the entire angelic hierarchy. His handling of the rebellion served as comprehensive instruction regarding the boundaries of angelic authority and the consequences of exceeding divine mandate. This educational impact helped prevent similar rebellions among other angelic orders. The restoration phase of Raguel's intervention focused on repairing the damage done to cosmic order by the Watcher rebellion. This involved not only punishing wrongdoers, but actively working to restore the proper relationships between celestial and terrestrial realms and re-establishing the boundaries that the Watchers had violated. The psychological impact of Raguel's interventions during the Watcher crisis extended throughout both celestial and terrestrial realms. Angels witnessed the comprehensive nature of divine justice and the impossibility of escaping accountability, while humans learned that cosmic order extends protection to all realms of creation. The precedents established by Raguel's handling of the Watcher rebellion continue to influence how celestial justice operates in subsequent crises. The procedures he developed, the principles he applied, and the balance he achieved between justice and mercy serve as templates for handling future challenges to cosmic order. The documentation of Raguel's interventions during the Watcher crisis, preserved in various ancient texts, serves as both historical record and instruction manual for understanding how divine justice operates when confronted with systematic rebellion. These records demonstrate that divine justice is neither arbitrary nor lenient, but perfectly calibrated to address both individual transgression and systemic corruption. The long-term consequences of Raguel's interventions in the Watcher rebellion extend to the present day, as the principles and precedents he established continue to govern angelic conduct and cosmic order. His decisive action during this crisis preserved the integrity of divine government and demonstrated that no rebellion, regardless of its scale or sophistication, can ultimately succeed against divine justice. The relationship between Raguel and the fallen angels represents perhaps the most solemn and consequential aspect of his role as the administrator of divine justice. These beings, once glorious servants of the Most High, became through their rebellion the subjects of Raguel's most severe judgments. Yet, even in condemnation, his actions reflect the perfect balance of divine justice and the persistent possibility of redemption that characterizes the cosmic order. The nature of angelic fall presents unique challenges for divine justice that differ substantially from human transgression. Angels possess perfect knowledge of divine law, complete understanding of consequences, and full awareness of their choices. When angels choose rebellion, they do so with complete moral and intellectual responsibility, making their transgression more serious than human failure, while simultaneously making divine justice more straightforward in its application. Raguel's approach to judging fallen angels operates on multiple levels simultaneously. At the foundational level, he must determine the precise nature and extent of each angel's rebellion, documenting not only actions, but motivations, influences, and the broader impact of their choices on cosmic order. This comprehensive analysis ensures that judgment reflects complete truth rather than superficial appearances. The judicial process applied to fallen angels by Raguel follows procedures that respect their dignity as created beings, while acknowledging their fundamental corruption through rebellion. Each fallen angel receives individual consideration, with judgment based on their specific actions and choices rather than collective guilt. This individualized approach demonstrates that divine justice operates with perfect precision rather than broad generalization. The categories of condemnation administered by Raguel reflect the varied nature of angelic rebellion and the different degrees of corruption that characterize different fallen angels. Some receive sentences of confinement with opportunities for repentance, others face exile with gradual degradation of their angelic nature, and the most corrupted face complete separation from divine presence with no possibility of restoration. The investigation process that precedes Raguel's judgment of fallen angels involves comprehensive examination of their celestial records, their interaction with other beings, and the consequences of their rebellion throughout creation. This thorough investigation ensures that judgment reflects complete understanding of each case, rather than hasty condemnation based on limited information. The sentencing of fallen angels presents Raguel with the challenge of balancing multiple divine attributes simultaneously. Justice demands appropriate punishment for rebellion. Mercy seeks opportunities for redemption. Wisdom considers the broader implications for cosmic order, and love maintains hope for eventual restoration, even in the face of persistent rebellion. The execution of sentences against fallen angels requires Raguel to coordinate with other celestial authorities while maintaining the independence necessary for fair judgment. This coordination ensures that divine justice operates consistently throughout all realms, while preventing any single authority from accumulating excessive power over the judicial process. The psychological aspects of Raguel's relationship with fallen angels reveal the personal cost of his role as divine judge. Many of these beings were once his colleagues and companions in celestial service, making their judgment a source of grief, even as it remains necessary for cosmic order. This emotional dimension demonstrates that divine justice, while perfect, is not indifferent to the suffering it sometimes requires. The appellate process available to fallen angels reflects the comprehensive nature of divine justice and the commitment to ensuring that no error corrupts the judicial system. Raguel reviews appeals with the same thoroughness that characterizes his initial judgments, providing additional opportunities for the presentation of mitigating circumstances or evidence of repentance. The rehabilitation programs overseen by Raguel for certain categories of fallen angels demonstrate that divine judgment aims at restoration rather than mere punishment. These programs provide structured opportunities for fallen angels to confront their rebellion, understand its consequences, and gradually rebuild their relationship with divine authority. The monitoring systems established by Raguel for fallen angels serve multiple purposes: ensuring compliance with sentences, detecting signs of genuine repentance, and protecting other beings from potential harm. This ongoing oversight demonstrates that divine justice extends beyond initial judgment to encompass long-term accountability and potential restoration. The documentation maintained by Raguel regarding fallen angels serves both judicial and educational purposes. These comprehensive records ensure consistency in future judgments while providing instruction for other angels regarding the consequences of rebellion and the operation of divine justice. The relationship between Raguel's judgment of fallen angels and the broader theme of cosmic redemption reveals the ultimate purpose of divine justice. Even the most severe judgments serve the goal of protecting innocent beings and maintaining conditions necessary for genuine flourishing throughout creation. The eschatological dimension of Raguel's role in judging fallen angels extends to the end times, when his accumulated judgments will play a role in the final resolution of cosmic conflict. The principles and precedents established through his current work will influence the ultimate disposition of all rebellious beings. The educational impact of Raguel's judgment of fallen angels extends throughout the celestial realm, providing ongoing instruction regarding the nature of divine justice and the consequences of rebellion. This instruction helps maintain cosmic order by reinforcing understanding of divine law and its consistent application. The mercy present even in Raguel's condemnation of fallen angels reflects the character of divine justice, which seeks restoration even while protecting innocent parties from harm. This balance demonstrates that divine justice and divine mercy are not opposing forces, but complementary aspects of perfect divine government. The finality of certain judgments, administered by Raguel against the most corrupted fallen angels, reflects the reality that divine justice must sometimes protect creation by permanently removing threats to cosmic order. These ultimate judgments, while sorrowful, demonstrate the commitment to preserving conditions necessary for genuine flourishing throughout all existence. In the vast expanse of creation, where stars dance in their ordained paths and galaxies spiral through the infinite darkness, there exists a divine principle that governs all existence, the principle of balance. This cosmic equilibrium is not merely a physical law, but a spiritual imperative that permeates every dimension of reality. At the heart of this celestial harmony stands a figure whose very name resonates with divine authority and unwavering justice: Raguel, the angel of justice and celestial harmony. The name Raguel, derived from the Hebrew meaning friend of God or God's vengeance, carries within it the dual nature of divine justice, both the protective embrace of righteousness and the terrible swift sword of retribution. In the ancient texts, particularly within the apocryphal Book of Enoch, Raguel emerges not as a distant, cold enforcer of divine law, but as a passionate guardian of cosmic order, one whose very existence ensures that the delicate balance between light and darkness, good and evil, remains intact. To understand Raguel's role in maintaining cosmic balance, we must first grasp the magnitude of the celestial hierarchy and the intricate systems that govern the spiritual realm. The universe, as conceived by ancient wisdom traditions and mystical texts, operates on multiple levels of reality. The physical realm, which we can observe and measure, represents merely the outermost layer of a far more complex spiritual architecture. Within this architecture, angelic beings serve as the active agents of divine will, each assigned specific roles and responsibilities that contribute to the overall harmony of creation. Raguel occupies a unique position within this celestial bureaucracy. Unlike the seraphim, who perpetually worship before the throne of the Almighty, or the cherubim who guard sacred spaces, Raguel's domain encompasses the moral fabric of the universe itself. He is tasked with ensuring that the actions of all spiritual beings, whether angelic or fallen, align with the divine blueprint for creation. This responsibility extends beyond mere punishment. It encompasses the restoration of balance when that harmony has been disrupted. The concept of cosmic balance that Raguel maintains is not static but dynamic, requiring constant vigilance and adjustment. Every act of rebellion, every deviation from divine law, creates ripples throughout the spiritual dimensions that must be addressed to prevent cascading chaos. When angels fall from grace, when spiritual beings overstep their ordained boundaries, when the natural order is threatened by supernatural interference, Raguel intervenes as the divine corrective force. This intervention is not arbitrary but follows precise spiritual laws that govern the interaction between free will and divine sovereignty. Raguel represents the point where mercy and justice intersect, where the consequences of choices meet the possibility of redemption. His justice is not vengeful but restorative, seeking not merely to punish wrongdoing, but to return all elements of creation to their proper relationships with one another and with the divine source. The ancient texts describe Raguel as one of the 7 archangels who stand before the throne of God, each representing a different aspect of divine nature and operation. While Michael embodies divine strength and Gabriel serves as the divine messenger, Raguel manifests divine justice in its purest form. This justice is not human justice, limited by finite understanding and clouded by emotion, but cosmic justice that sees all things in their proper perspective and responds with perfect wisdom and timing. In maintaining cosmic harmony, Raguel works in concert with the natural laws that govern both physical and spiritual reality. The same principles that keep planets in their orbits and maintain the delicate balance of ecosystems also operate in the spiritual realm to ensure that good ultimately triumphs over evil, that light dispels darkness, and that love conquers hate. Raguel serves as the personal agent of these impersonal laws, bringing conscious intention and divine will to bear on situations that require supernatural intervention. The moral order that Raguel upholds extends beyond the actions of individual beings to encompass the larger patterns of history and the ultimate destiny of creation. Every injustice that goes unpunished in the temporal realm, every good deed that goes unrewarded, every truth that is suppressed or distorted, all of these create imbalances in the cosmic scales that Raguel is charged with correcting. This correction may not always be immediate from a human perspective, but it is inevitable from the perspective of eternity. The harmony that Raguel maintains is not merely the absence of conflict, but the presence of right relationship. When all beings occupy their proper places in the cosmic order, when each fulfills its intended purpose and maintains its ordained connections with others, the result is a symphony of existence in which every note contributes to a greater melody. Raguel serves as both conductor and guardian of this cosmic symphony, ensuring that no discordant element disrupts the divine composition. This celestial harmony has practical implications for human existence as well. As beings created in the divine image and endowed with free will, humans participate in the cosmic drama of good and evil, justice and injustice, harmony and discord. The choices made by individuals and societies either contribute to or detract from the overall balance that Raguel maintains. When humans align themselves with divine principles of justice, compassion, and truth, they become co-workers with Raguel in maintaining cosmic harmony. When they choose selfish ambition, cruelty, and deception, they create the very imbalances that require divine intervention to correct. The ancient understanding of Raguel's role in cosmic balance provides a framework for comprehending the often confusing and seemingly random events of human history. Wars, natural disasters, social upheavals, and personal tragedies that appear to contradict divine justice and love are seen in this context as part of a larger pattern of correction and restoration. Raguel's influence ensures that no evil ultimately goes unpunished, no good deed goes unrewarded, and no injustice remains forever uncorrected. This does not mean that Raguel's justice operates according to human timescales or expectations. The divine perspective encompasses not just individual lifetimes, but entire ages of cosmic development. What appears to be divine silence or inaction from a temporal viewpoint may actually represent the careful timing of divine intervention to achieve the maximum of effect. Raguel's justice is patient justice, allowing time for repentance and redemption, while maintaining the ultimate certainty of cosmic accountability. The balance that Raguel maintains also extends to the relationship between the material and spiritual realms. In a universe where consciousness and matter, spirit and flesh, temporal and eternal constantly interact and influence one another, maintaining proper balance requires sophisticated understanding of these complex relationships. Raguel serves as the guardian of the boundaries between realms, ensuring that spiritual forces do not inappropriately dominate material existence and that material concerns do not completely overshadow spiritual realities. The thread of divine justice that Raguel weaves throughout the fabric of cosmic history finds its ultimate expression in the eschatological drama, the final act of the cosmic play in which all accounts are settled, all mysteries revealed, and all things brought to their appointed end. In the realm of eschatology, the study of last things, Raguel emerges not merely as a maintainer of ongoing balance, but as the primary agent of ultimate justice, the one who will oversee the final separation of wheat from chaff, light from darkness, and truth from falsehood. The eschatological role of Raguel is intimately connected to the ancient understanding of time itself as a linear progression toward a definitive conclusion. Unlike cyclical concepts of time that envision eternal repetition of patterns, the Judeo-Christian tradition in which Raguel appears conceives of history as having a beginning, a middle, and an end. This end is not merely cessation, but culmination, the point at which all the partial revelations of divine justice throughout history are brought together into a complete and final manifestation. In the apocalyptic literature where Raguel features most prominently, the end times are characterized by a great unveiling, literally an apocalypse, in which hidden realities are brought into the light and secret injustices are exposed for all to see. This period of revelation requires an agent of uncompromising justice who cannot be swayed by appearances, influenced by power, or deceived by false righteousness. Raguel embodies these qualities perfectly, serving as the divine prosecutor who presents the evidence of cosmic wrongdoing and the divine judge who renders verdicts based on absolute truth. The Book of Enoch provides the most detailed account of Raguel's eschatological function, describing him as one of the holy angels who will take vengeance on the world of the luminaries. This phrase, pregnant with symbolic meaning, refers not to arbitrary revenge, but to the necessary correction of cosmic imbalances that have accumulated over the ages. The world of the luminaries encompasses all beings of spiritual significance, both faithful and fallen angels, righteous and wicked humans, and all the complex hierarchies of spiritual existence that populate the unseen dimensions of reality. In this eschatological context, Raguel's justice operates on multiple levels simultaneously. On the individual level, he oversees the judgment of each soul according to the deeds performed in the body and the choices made throughout earthly existence. This judgment is not based on external appearances or social status, but on the true condition of the heart and the actual impact of one's actions on the cosmic balance between good and evil. Every secret kindness is weighed alongside every hidden cruelty, every act of courage balanced against every moment of cowardice, every expression of love measured against every manifestation of hatred. On the collective level, Raguel's eschatological role involves the judgment of entire civilizations, nations, and institutions based on their contribution to or detraction from divine justice in the world. The rise and fall of empires, the success or failure of social movements, the flourishing or decay of religious institutions, all of these are subject to Raguel's ultimate evaluation. Those that have served as instruments of divine justice and agents of cosmic harmony receive vindication and reward, while those that have perpetuated injustice and promoted discord face exposure and judgment. The cosmic level of Raguel's eschatological function involves the final resolution of the great controversy between good and evil that has played out across the stages of history. This is not merely a human drama, but a universal one, involving all orders of created beings and affecting every dimension of reality. The rebellion of Satan and the fallen angels, the corruption of human nature, the distortion of divine truth, the perversion of sacred institutions, all of these threads in the tapestry of cosmic conflict must be untangled and resolved in the final judgment. The timing of Raguel's eschatological intervention is not arbitrary, but follows the divine timetable that allows for the full development of both good and evil to their ultimate expressions. Just as a wise farmer waits for the harvest until both wheat and weeds have fully matured, making clear distinction possible, so divine justice delays final judgment until the true character of every being and every system has been fully revealed. Raguel serves as the divine harvester who can distinguish between the authentic and the counterfeit, the genuine and the false, the pure and the corrupt. The methods by which Raguel accomplishes his eschatological mission reflect the perfect wisdom and justice of the divine nature. Rather than relying on force or coercion, his judgment operates through the power of truth itself. When all things are revealed in their true nature, when every hidden motive is exposed and every secret deed brought to light, the reality of justice becomes self-evident. The guilty condemn themselves by their own actions, while the righteous are vindicated by the testimony of their lives. This process of revelation and judgment serves not only punitive but also educative purposes. The final manifestation of divine justice through Raguel's ministry provides cosmic validation of the moral principles that have governed creation from the beginning. It demonstrates to all created beings the wisdom of divine law, the necessity of cosmic order, and the ultimate futility of rebellion against divine authority. This demonstration serves as eternal education for all who witness it, ensuring that the conditions that led to cosmic conflict will never again arise. The eschatological role of Raguel also encompasses the restoration aspect of divine justice. While judgment necessarily involves punishment for wrongdoing, its ultimate purpose is not retribution, but restoration. The return of all things to their proper relationships within the cosmic order. This restoration involves not only the punishment of evil, but also the healing of the damage that evil has caused, the repair of relationships that have been broken, and the renewal of systems that have been corrupted. In the final analysis, Raguel's eschatological mission represents the completion of his cosmic role as maintainer of divine justice. Throughout history, his interventions have been partial and corrective, addressing specific imbalances while allowing the larger drama to continue unfolding. In the end times, his role becomes comprehensive and final, addressing not just individual imbalances, but the entire accumulation of injustice that has built up over the ages of cosmic history. The victory that Raguel achieves in his eschatological role is not merely the triumph of one force over another, but the vindication of the moral structure of the universe itself. His success demonstrates that justice is not an arbitrary imposition, but an inherent aspect of reality, that harmony is not a temporary accident, but the natural state of creation, and that love is not a weakness, but the ultimate power that governs all existence. This eschatological victory has profound implications for understanding the nature of hope in the present age. The certainty of Raguel's ultimate triumph over injustice provides the foundation for confidence that temporary sufferings and apparent defeats of good are not the final word in cosmic history. The knowledge that perfect justice will ultimately prevail gives meaning to present struggles against injustice and provides motivation for continued efforts to align human society with divine principles of righteousness and peace. As the cosmic drama reaches its climax and the final chapter of history unfolds, the legacy of Raguel extends far beyond the immediate execution of divine justice. His influence permeates the very structure of the renewed creation that emerges from the fires of judgment, establishing patterns of righteousness that will govern existence throughout eternity. This legacy represents not merely the conclusion of one age, but the foundation of endless ages to come, in which the principles embodied by Raguel become the permanent architecture of reality itself. The legacy of justice that Raguel leaves behind is fundamentally different from human concepts of legal justice, which are necessarily limited by finite understanding and imperfect implementation. Divine justice, as manifested through Raguel's ministry, operates according to principles that transcend human categories while remaining perfectly comprehensible to purified human reason. This justice is not arbitrary but logical, not harsh but loving, not destructive but ultimately creative in its effects. The restoration aspect of Raguel's legacy addresses one of the most profound questions that has haunted human consciousness throughout history: whether the suffering and injustice experienced in temporal existence can ever be adequately compensated or ultimately meaningful. The ancient promise that every tear shall be wiped away finds its fulfillment in the restorative dimension of Raguel's work, which ensures that no genuine suffering goes unacknowledged, no authentic good deed goes unrewarded, and no sincere aspiration toward righteousness goes unfulfilled. This restoration operates on multiple levels, each more comprehensive than the last. On the personal level, every individual who has suffered injustice receives not merely compensation, but transformation. The painful experiences of temporal existence are revealed to have contributed to the development of character qualities that enhance rather than diminish eternal joy. The scars of suffering become the sources of deeper compassion, the wounds of injustice become the wellsprings of greater wisdom, and the darkness of temporal confusion becomes the background against which eternal light shines more brilliantly. On the relational level, Raguel's legacy includes the healing of all the broken relationships that have characterized human existence since the fall from original harmony. The artificial barriers erected by prejudice, the wounds inflicted by betrayal, the distances created by misunderstanding, all of these are dissolved in the light of perfect truth and perfect love. Enemies become friends, strangers become family, and the human community achieves the unity that was always its intended destiny. On the cosmic level, the restoration encompasses the healing of the breach between the natural and supernatural worlds, the reconciliation of matter and spirit, and the harmonization of all the various dimensions of reality into a single, coherent whole. The creation that emerges from this cosmic restoration retains all the diversity and creativity of the original creation, while eliminating all the discord and dysfunction that characterized the period of cosmic conflict. The eternal dimension of Raguel's legacy addresses the question of permanence, whether the victory of justice and the achievement of harmony represent a stable equilibrium or merely a temporary respite before new conflicts arise. The answer lies in the transformative nature of the judgment process itself, which does not merely suppress evil, but reveals its ultimate emptiness and futility. Those who witness the complete manifestation of divine justice understand not only intellectually, but experientially why evil is self-defeating and why righteousness is self-sustaining. This understanding creates what might be called eternal stability, not the static perfection of an unchanging system, but the dynamic perfection of a system in which all change contributes to greater harmony rather than greater discord. The beings who populate the renewed creation are not robots programmed to avoid evil, but free agents who have learned through experience to choose good because they have seen the ultimate consequences of both good and evil choices. The educational aspect of Raguel's legacy extends throughout eternity, providing endless opportunities for deeper understanding of the principles of justice and harmony that govern existence. The great controversy between good and evil, having been resolved in favor of good, becomes a permanent object of study and reflection for all created beings. This study is not academic but practical, informing every decision and enriching every experience with deeper appreciation for the wisdom and love that underlie the structure of reality. The creative dimension of Raguel's legacy manifests in the ongoing expansion and development of the renewed creation. Having established the principles of justice and harmony as the permanent foundation of existence, these principles become the framework within which infinite creativity can flourish without risk of creating chaos or injustice. Every new creation, every new experience, every new relationship contributes to the overall harmony rather than threatening it. This creative aspect of the legacy addresses the question of whether eternal existence might become boring or monotonous. The answer lies in the infinite depth of the principles that Raguel has established and vindicated. Justice is not a simple rule, but an infinitely complex harmony that can be explored and expressed in countless ways throughout eternity. Each new discovery of how justice operates reveals new possibilities for creative expression, ensuring that eternity will be filled with endless discovery and endless joy. The practical implications of Raguel's legacy for present existence provide guidance for how temporal life should be lived in light of eternal realities. Understanding that perfect justice will ultimately prevail encourages patience in the face of present injustices, while motivating active participation in the struggle against evil. Knowing that complete restoration is assured provides comfort in times of suffering, while inspiring hope for ultimate healing and wholeness. The legacy also provides perspective on the relative importance of temporal concerns versus eternal values. While the material aspects of existence are not ignored or despised, they are seen in proper proportion to the spiritual realities that they represent and serve. This perspective liberates human consciousness from obsessive concern with temporary circumstances, while heightening appreciation for the eternal significance of present choices and actions. The transformative power of Raguel's legacy extends to the understanding of identity itself. In the light of perfect justice and complete restoration, every being discovers their true nature and their authentic place in the cosmic order. The masks and pretenses that characterize temporal existence fall away, revealing the genuine self that exists beneath all the layers of social conditioning and personal defense mechanisms. This revelation of authentic identity is not threatening but liberating, because the authentic self is always more beautiful and more capable than the distorted self-image that develops under the influence of sin and separation. The discovery of true identity leads to the fulfillment of true potential, which in turn contributes to the overall harmony and joy of the cosmic community. The legacy of Raguel ultimately represents the vindication of the moral structure of the universe and the demonstration that existence itself is fundamentally good, meaningful, and purposeful. This vindication provides the foundation for eternal confidence, eternal joy, and eternal peace, not because all questions have been answered, but because the source of all answers has been revealed as completely trustworthy and infinitely loving. In the end, the legacy of Raguel is not merely the memory of justice accomplished, but the living reality of justice embodied in the structure of eternal existence. Every being, every relationship, every aspect of the renewed creation bears the imprint of his work and reflects the principles that he championed and vindicated. The angel of justice becomes not just a historical figure, but an eternal presence, ensuring that the cosmos will forever remain true to its divine design and purpose.